What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of Keenan Allen's best wide receiver versus DB one-on-ones, okay? So he's top 2 route runner in the league, and we're going to be looking at him against all of these different press situations. So this video is going to give you a lot of value in terms of how to beat a physical DB, releases that went off the line, and how to run a comeback against press with an outside release, okay? But also, fellas, I want to talk to you about something we're offering on my website's Ultimate Wide Receiver Training Package, and we're having a $10 off sale today. Check out that very first link in the description. It is a full wide receiver gym program. Everything wide receivers should do in the gym, and our technique manual. Everything written out, everything wide receiver ultimate training package. Again, you check out that very first link in the description to get access to our $10 off sale. Let's get started. So this first route here is going to be doing this kind of like diamond release, right? He's going to be running a slant route or like maybe this under route. This can be used for either one of those, but it's going to be like this little hesitation, almost like double up, and then he takes off on this diamond, right? So this is a situation where we beat this DB so bad. I get this question asked a lot, and we get to the outside, but he's beat so bad that if we just ran into it full speed, we would run into him, right? And he would just be in the right place at the right time. And I get this question a lot. So let's watch Think full speed. So he beats him and kind of hesitates and then gives him another break and runs this under route, right? So now, here's the deal. The thing with off the line of scrimmage, especially when you're working a situation where maybe it's like a split release off the get, a double up into a diamond release where you attack that 45 trying to get his hips to turn, it's important that we are patient, right? So we come off the line, we hesitate, we give him that 1-2, and you see what freezes this DB is like that upper half movement, right? Because the upper half movement is what's going to move him. What should he be watching? He should be watching his hips. His eyes might be a little high, and he might be focusing on these shoulders a little too much, but that little shake with his upper half and him being sudden with his feet forces a reaction out of this DB, right? So when you can hesitate, be sudden, that's what gets this DB to move, because he's thinking, okay, it's that suddenness, it's that quick burst, it's that fast twitch that gets him to react. He doesn't want to get beat to the inside. He doesn't want him to just hesitate and then go to the inside. That's what we got to threaten him with, right? So now we beat him off this line. We get his feet off the ground a little bit. He's off balance. Now he has to recover. But if I were to just go 3 hard steps into this thing right now and go 1, 2, 3 and break it off and just beat him and try to go fast, he would be right underneath me and he'd be in a great position to make a play. So what does he do? He does a great job of using tempo. He hesitates, uses a little tempo, then he breaks this thing off. And again, gives that little head and shoulder fake, gets that DB into open space, gets him to turn those hips, and then he's able to break back underneath with a lot of separation. Now in this situation, fellas, when we're here and we're forcing a speed turn out of this DB, it's real important that we accelerate. We got to drive my arms. I got to pump my arms to the spot that I need to get to so I could widen the distance, because it is a race to this spot. He's going to be speed turning. He knows he got beat. He's thinking, oh shit, I don't want to get beat underneath. I don't want him to run across the field 53 yards and I have to chase him. So he's going fast. We got to make sure that I win off the line, freeze him, leave him, get him off that platform, and then I accelerate and try to win that race to the spot, okay? So let's watch Think full speed again one more time. This is a great example of what you guys can do when you don't want to run into a DB. I punk him off the line. I get him off balance. I get him cheating to the inside. He's trying to recover. If I just run full speed, I'm going to run right into him. So I got to let him recover a little bit. I got to change up that tempo, and then I break this thing back off. Now, the great thing about this under route that you guys need to understand is that this is like a third read situation. The quarterback's probably going from he's probably got a high-low concept, right? He's probably going from 1 to 2 back down to U3. So we have time to let this develop. But if you were running maybe a quick slant, I probably wouldn't go with this. You would probably have to get into this thing fast and just kind of deal with that DB being in the right spot. So that's how this play works. Not going to work for every single situation that you run. Let's watch the thing again full speed one more time. Hesitates, takes that little pause step to the outside. Great route by Keenan Allen. All right, so now we're going to be looking here to kind of the right of your screen. We're going to be looking at this comeback route, okay? So now we're going to focus on a lot of different things on this comeback, but mainly this split release off the line and how you just can get some separation. So let's watch Think full speed. So he does this little split, little shake at the top, gives that little hesitation, and then he's able to drop those hips and accelerate out of that route. So now what we got, when he comes off the line here and he gives this little split release, right? So he's probably the best at the split release, where he just splits his feet, sees where this DB's going, and then he goes upfield. And when you guys split right here, when you guys do this split release, it's exactly how it sounds. You're just bringing your back leg up even with your front leg. We're trying to get a read on this guy. We're trying to see how he's going to play me. So if he jumps to the inside or his weight's to the inside, and we know that he doesn't want any part of this, he doesn't want any part of this jam, what I could do is I could just take the outside release and go. I could just give him this little split, take the outside release, and let's go. You push off of the leg opposite than what you're going. Because if this DB kind of shoots to the outside and maybe steps with his right leg, takes away the outside release, I would push off of my left leg because now I'm in a balanced position. When you bring your feet even, you're in a balanced position and you could go either direction. So now he kind of jumps to the inside here. I give him a little shoulder shake. Okay, fine. I could push off of that right leg to get me to the outside. And now what do I got to do? I got to sell vertical. That's the key right here because we got this DB. We froze him. We left him to the inside. Now let's leave him. Let's get upfield. Let's get up fast. And the three things that are going to make this guy commit his hips and run with me are my eyes, my pad level, and my stride length, which ties into speed. All three of those things are directly related to speed. So speed is what's going to get this guy to turn his hips and run with me. If I have speed and I'm going downfield and I got a great pad level, there are no indicators on this break, right? What do I mean by indicator? Indicator is when you raise your pad level or when you start to chop your feet down or maybe when you start to slow your speed down. That's an indication of the DB that a break's coming, right? So what does Allen do here, though, is he gives this little stutter, like this little high step, and then he kicks up into second gear, right? That stutter is just to force him to just overreact, right? Because maybe he's ran it a couple times. This is how you guys got to approach things as a receiver when you guys are backside, right? Maybe it's a run play. Maybe it's like, let's say you're on the right side and it's like sweep left or like stretch left, and your job is just to run your DB out of the play, not take an inside release. Like you must take an outside release, an MOR. Maybe I come off the line and I give him this little hesitation, then I go and I let him feel that speed. I let him get used to that, right? So when I actually have to run a route, it can build off of that. Everything's a setup, but if you got to be able to do it strategically, be able to be on time and keep timing with your quarterback and be able to keep spacing, obviously, with your routes, but we got to do it efficiently. So again, you see Allen, he does that little stutter, gets that DB to really overcommit his hips, try to get hands and push vertical, and then what do? How am I able to decelerate going full speed? You're violent with your hips. And now you see when he snaps on this comeback, I get this question asked a lot, what foot am I supposed to snap on the comeback? If you snap with the foot, like I teach inside foot, but again, I wouldn't necessarily say it's about whatever foot you want to snap with. I would say it's more so about your hips, right? I teach inside foot because there's situations where maybe you got to go off your fourth inside. That takes you to 15, back to 12. I feel like it's easier to go inside foot just simply because you can get your hips turned quicker in my eyes. I think if you go outside foot, you don't get your hips turned quicker because you see how Allen snaps, then his second step pivots him, then his third step kind of hooks around to create some energy. He takes that fourth and fifth step right here. But again, it's not about steps, fellas. It's about time spent at the top of the break. I could take 3 steps, but I could slow way down into this break and be out clean in 3 steps, but I got no explosion, didn't get any separation because I didn't sell vertical, and I didn't have any explosion to shoot me back to the top of this route, that phase 3 of the route, that acceleration phase. So it's all about being able to run full speed to get this DB to commit vertical, and then being able to drop on a dime with violent hips, get my hips out of it fast, and cut out time spent at the top of the break. But another thing that a lot of people don't talk about is balance at the top of the break, right? You see how Allen, again, he snaps 2, 3, 4, 5, but he's able to run out of this thing. He's able to accelerate. His hands don't shoot down by his sides. He's not drifting out of there. He's able to turn that corner nice and tight and have balance. The goal is to have balance and explosion. And if you get your hips low, you're violent with your hips, your feet are picking up, you're trying to turn those hips out of there and run those hands, you're going to have balance and explosion. Again, it is just a race to this spot, and the more separation I have with that DB, the easier it is to win that race. That's why DB is so hard, because they're guessing 24/7. So if I don't give him any indication of what I'm doing on that release, I don't give him on that stem. I don't give him any indication on the stem. Don't give him any indication right before the break. And I'm just able to drop on a dime, cut out time, have balance, have explosion. I will be able to get separation. It's about what we do wrong, not necessarily what the DB does right. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. So he comes off the line here, gives him that little shake, give him that split release, little hesitation. Then let's drop this thing off and let's be violent. Great job by Keenan Allen. All right, so now, next clip we're going to be talking about is this isn't necessarily a route. This is just we're going to be focusing on that split release again. So let's watch this thing full speed. So he gives him the split, gets that DB to the inside, and you see how he bursts up vertical. Okay, so now there's just a drill that they work with these DBs. Now you see how he kind of uses this back leg as like a kick step. Now what that does is that allows him to shoot wide with that back leg. It's kind of like a step for balance. I love that step. I teach that personally because here's the thing. If you guys struggle with having a fast get off the line of scrimmage, like let's say quarterback snap snaps the ball and you find yourself like kind of flat-footed, like you're not really moving, using this kind of kick step for balance and explosion, or maybe even picking up your front foot and just moving it maybe just a slightly to the right to use it to push you out. But that little kick step is able to make him step wide. He's able to bring both of his feet even, and he's got a read on this DB. Now, pre-snap, where's this DB? He's a little bit inside shade, mostly head up, but a little bit inside shade, right? So I could kind of anticipate that when I go to split, he's going to try to take away maybe the inside release here, right? And if I give a head and shoulder fake when I do this split release, right? Like I split and I give a little head fake to the inside and I get him to jump, I could easily just push off of my right leg and get up to the outside. I push off of this leg here and I run, and now I'm accelerating up into this route. You see how he keeps his head down to make sure that he has speed and he can widen the distance with this DB, because when the DB is in within 5 yards and he doesn't have hands on you, that's a very bad spot for him, and that's an opportunity for us to create some separation, okay? So make sure that when I do this, either when it's like just a double up, like maybe just a quick little 1-2, and I give a little head fake to the inside, which is what I would consider this. I like to say that this is a split release. You could kind of consider this as a double up as well, where you would just go left, right, and it's real quick, it's real sudden, and that head and shoulder fake gets him to lean to the inside or jump to the inside. Either situation, right? Where it's just a 1-2, whether it's just a split, whatever it might be, that is just got to make sure that we give that little head fake and we get up vertical. And when we're able to be in this position, I keep my head down, I drive my arms, and I'm focused on widening the distance with the DB. Let's watch it again, full speed one more time. So just a little split, little head and shoulder fake, keep that head down and drive. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, $10 off wide receiver package, right? For the price of just our gym program, you guys can get a wide receiver gym program and our technique manual, all the things route running that I teach my receivers, the specific processes to improve that, and all the things wide receivers need in the gym. Very first link in the description. If you guys have any questions at all, leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you guys next time.